Okay, that's got D.C. watchdog groups in overdrive digging into what President Obama just said about Joe Biden having not hobnobbing with lobbyists. Let's welcome back to the show Trump 2020 campaign senior advisor Lara Trump. It's so great to have you back on. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Well, I mean, it's pretty telling that the former president would even have to bring this up to clarify for people. It's pretty clear that Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, got a $150 billion investment from the Bank of China by flying over on Air Force Two with his dad to China. What did they promise for that investment? I don't know. What did they expect? Nobody knows. But it's sort of strange that he would even bring this up and even put it back out on the table for Joe. But I know he probably wasn't trying to stir the pot. He certainly did with that, didn't he?
Yeah, it feels like, critics are saying that it feels like he was trying to whip a fastball by the American people because Senate Republicans are investigating the Biden family's pay-to-play conflicts of interest, including led by Senator Ron Johnson, including with Burisma, right?
That's right. So there's a lot out there that apparently President Obama maybe hasn't been paying close enough attention. Maybe someone should have reminded him of that before he did this fundraiser for Joe Biden. But I think it's interesting that it took a year and a half for Barack Obama to even come out and endorse Joe Biden, his former vice president. He waited until everybody else was out of the game. And you remember he even told Joe Biden, Joe, you don't have to do this. So maybe there's more to the story there. I don't really know. I don't think that it was the success that they had hoped it would be, especially now seeing all this come out of it. Sort of a mess.
The other thing, too, is critics are calling out President Obama for using divisive rhetoric again. President Obama has been accused of dividing the nation, not unifying the nation. For example, he said, quote, that science does not matter to the Trump administration when it comes to COVID-19, that the people there, that the folks in charge don't know what they're doing. That's a direct quote. Your reaction to that?
Yeah, well, that is totally ridiculous. It was actually President Trump who, the same day that the Democrats were playing politics and Nancy Pelosi was handing out her impeachment pens, Donald Trump stopped travel coming from China to the United States to stop the coronavirus from spreading at a very fast rate. Thank you to President Trump for that. He saved countless numbers of lives by doing that. And every step of the way, this president has listened to the experts, to Dr. Fauci and his entire group of people that came in to help out with the coronavirus response. We are now seeing, Liz, by the way, great news. Yes, there is an uptick in some states across the country of coronavirus, but the hospitalizations and the death rates are going down significantly. Wasn't that in the beginning what everybody said was the goal? We don't want to have the hospitals overwhelmed. This president has done an incredible job with coronavirus. I mean, nobody expected us to be in this place. Sort of ridiculous to hear that sort of commentary. But again, not surprising coming from Barack Obama. I think he very clearly knows that Joe Biden doesn't excite anybody. Joe Biden is going to have a very hard time against Donald Trump. You see the fact that we had 20 million people watch the rally last Saturday from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Joe Biden had like 12 people at an event he had today in Pennsylvania. So you contrast the two. I think it's very clear he's trying to help prop Joe Biden up.
People are saying it's time for the rhetoric to cool down. We have John Kerry recently saying if people don't have adequate access to the ballot, that's the stuff in which, quote, revolutions are built. People are saying, tone down the rhetoric, stop talking like that. But we also have Senate Majority Whip John Thune. He's the second highest ranking leader in the Senate Republican caucus there. He's saying that the president may lose the independent vote because of his rhetoric, that is too divisive. What do you say to that?
I don't think so. I think you've seen the Democrats have been championing the looters, rioters, and arsonists in the streets, and the president is standing for law and order. It's the only thing that keeps this country together. I highly disagree with his sentiments there.
All right, Lara Trump, thanks for joining us again. It's great to have you on again. Good to see you. Come back soon.
Thank you.